Welcome to the OBF, the family channel. People, make sure you guys hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button. And if you can, people, go and donate to the channel. Go to OBF, the real Cash App. Once again, go to donate to the channel. Go to OBF, the real Cash App, and donate to the channel. People, we highly appreciate anything you guys can donate to the channel. All right, people, I'm gonna make this very quick. Um, I'll probably go live today. If I don't go live today, I'm gonna go live tomorrow. I'm in the studio editing some shit for for this new debate show we got coming up on Sundays. So hopefully we can get that thing popping this Sunday. If not, we'll get it popping next week, next Sunday. Um yeah, man. So the debate was who the fuck was that? Tony Yayo was on Drink Champs, and they did like a thing that they do to saying like who they think is better, who you gonna choose I guess you think that's better, who you gonna choose. It's a little challenge or show that little game that he plays on his show with different celebrities. Um and on one of the things the comparison well who he would pick was Ice Cube or Biggie. I think it was that. Was it Biggie, Ice Cube and Biggie? It might have been. Yeah, it was Ice Cube or Biggie. And Tony Yayo said he picked Biggie. Now, on Real Talk, a lot of people got a little, I ain't gonna say offended, but a lot of people was like, what the fuck? Right? But I wasn't that shocked that he picked Biggie. Um, and this is the reason why. This is what I keep trying to tell people about when you're picking your the best, like if you got your top best NBA players of all times, right? Now, if you just did an overall vote of of a of a of a poll, like say you want you put you put 100 rappers. I mean, you put like 100 uh NBA former players from almost try to do like almost every era, right? If you do that, you will have a better understanding of who's better, right? If you're asking the genuine public in a poll, you would you would have a lot more biases, a lot more people being biased towards where they have people ranked, because everybody has like their favorite player, their favorite um entertainer or rapper or singer. Like everybody's going to be a little biased, right? That's just naturally in any poll, right? But I always keep telling people about people that's from different regions. Like when I think of New York dudes, and it's no disrespect to New York dudes, right? It's a bias there because of the arrogance that they arrogant because that's the birth of hip hop. That's where it was birthed at. So they have this almost this arrogant being so this arrogance so being so like this arrogance that they have that it almost gets annoying. It almost gets to a point of like, yo, you ain't got to be that fucking arrogant, bro. Like, be humble a little bit. We get it. We understand it's New York. We get it. We understand. We understand y'all got style, y'all got flavor, y'all got lyrics, y'all got. We get it. We understand what New York is. We get it. Y'all one of the biggest states in the country. We get it. It's the most popular state. I mean, state in like you could say like it's one of the most places that anybody would want to go in the world, right? It's like up there. It's like I say, makes at least top 10, right? Just for like a state in the United States. You get what I'm saying? So or just play or one of the places in the world to go, right? Top 10, right? No matter what country you're from. We get it. The problem is that people outside of New York, what they don't understand about New York people is that they're going to they're going to be very biased because of the simple fact it's New York, and it's almost like a hate it or love it thing. Like you gotta hate it or love it that they like that. I say I balance it. I don't like some of the arrogance, but like they so arrogant, but I respect it in a way because I think if it's anybody else fucking, if it's from your part of the region, you're gonna be a little arrogant about yourself, your where you've come from too, and where your shit is in your region. You're gonna be arrogant about it. I just think that outside of New York, I think a lot more people, a lot more humble about when it comes to hip hop. I think people are a lot more humble than New York dudes. You know what I mean? Because I don't really get upset because it's the birth of hip hop. So I get it. You got to understand that, man. I just think a lot of people, it's always not even a jealousy thing. It's almost like a envy, or almost like a people get mad because New York is so arrogant about New York. But it just is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? Um, I think I think the crazy part about New York is they get upset because they're not appreciated outside of New York as much as they should be, right? Um, and respect level of it, like, but but what New York people don't understand is, especially when it comes to this hip hop thing, is by you being so arrogant and dismissing other regions of music, it makes you is you going to get unappreciated. You're going to People are not going to give you the flowers that you're supposed to get because you do all the you do all your giving yourselves flowers. I mean, it's like an arrogant thing. Like you don't allow people to kind of appreciate you in a way, or you got to appreciate other people's region of music or what other people has done, and stop being so biased and stuff like that. But like I said, and you have to understand something too when you from New York. New York niggas, New York people only listen to New York shit really like that. They don't really listen to a lot of shit outside of New York really like that. I'm not saying they don't listen to nothing now. It's a little different now, but back then, and even now to a certain extent, um, they don't really listen to a lot of shit outside. You know what I mean? It's a culture there, so they don't really listen to a lot of shit. You know what I mean? Back in the day, it was very hard for outside of motherfuckers to come to New York and get their music played. But that was on the bias thing. That was on purpose. You know, um, and I think that's why you see a lot of New York guys, New York people don't give the Ice Cubes and a lot of the other rappers their props really like that. You know what I mean? Because it was very hard for them to knock down them doors to get their music played in New York. You know what I mean? People don't understand. That's the mecca of hip hop. New York is the mecca. So it's like, motherfucker, you got to come here to really get like play like that and really blow up. It's like going to Hollywood. You got to go to Hollywood for certain shit. Like motherfuckers, you got to go to LA. You got to go out there. You know what I'm saying? Like movies and shit, getting into movies. You got to go to LA. Time's a little different now, but you still got to go to LA. So LA got their own thing too. They arguing and shit about that. When you go out there to LA for like um movies and shit. But I don't think it's nowhere compared to the arrogance that they have out there for the movie shit, to the music shit that how New York is about hip hop, right? But back to my point. I just wanted to break that down a little bit. But if we really be honest with, you can still have a little bias for the person that you fuck with. Me myself, I am not the biggest Ice Cube fan in the world. Okay? I can listen to Biggie's music all the way through. I can't listen to an Ice Cube album all the way through. All the way through. Maybe his first album, I think it's Marcus Most Wanted. I think that's the album. I could be wrong about that album because he got a couple of albums out. Um, but I can't listen to an Ice Cube album all the way through. Like, and that's what I be trying to get people to understand. Like, I get of what Ice Cube has done. Like, he's an icon. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's you know, he the triple OG in this shit. You know what I mean? You know, he the OG in this shit. If you want to be honest, like he a double OG or some shit like that. If you want to put it like that. Um, I just think overall, I think more rappers has had a more of an impact when it comes to hip hop for me than he did, and that's why, in a sense, I have Ice Cube ranked in my top 10 because overall, if everything you want to talk about, you want to talk about rapping, lyrical, writing, producing, I mean, shit, movies, producing movies, like, I mean, overall, money, like, if you want to throw all that shit, impact, yes, he's a top 10 guy. It's no way impossible Ice Cube is not a top 10 guy. But when you start trying to put him in the range of, you know, like I said, if you really want to be real honest about a top five list, Wayne has to be there. Eminem has to be there. Pac has to be there. LL has to be there. Those guys overall is better. Like, that's say Pac and Pac, like, they overall they're better. And then if you really want to be real about it, then you got to throw Jay there. Like, if you really want to be real, Jay is going to be in your top five. L is going to be in your top five. Eminem is going to be in your top five. Wayne is going to be in your top five, and Pac is definitely going to be in your top five. Biggie is somewhere around. Honestly, if you really want to be honest about it, Biggie is somewhere around maybe 9. And if you want to have a debate, if you want to say you pick an Ice Cube over Biggie, that's fine. I have Biggie at 10. Like, it wouldn't matter to me if you pick Biggie or Ice Cube over each other. It wouldn't matter to me. I'm not the biggest fan of Ice Cube's music. Like, not saying that his music ain't great. I just, you know, it's like Nas. I fuck with Nas, but Nas ain't that guy to me. Like, he was never a dude that I would listen to. I listen to Nas. I think Nas got great songs. He got a great catalog, but I can't listen to a whole Nas album. It's like one album. I think it was was it Grandson, or I think it was Grandson or Grandfather. It was something like that. He came out with. I think it was the album that he had Ether on. To me, that was no lie. No, people say his first albums and all that shit was better. No, that album right there that he did, that with the Ether song with Gist J, I think that was Godson or something like that. That was the best album. Yeah, it was Godson. Yeah, that shit was the best album to me. That's his best album to me. And 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 I'm not the biggest Nas fan, but that was the best album for me. And I probably could listen to that whole album all the way through. But all the rest of that shit, I can't listen to all that shit. He preached too much for me. It wasn't as diverse as a lot of artists that I hear an album. I can listen to a whole Biggie album all the way through. So, like, it's a biased conversation in a way for everybody to have that. I can see how Tony Yayo picked Biggie, but that's cool. But for people to get like totally upset that they picked Biggie over Ice Cube, like, what the fuck are y'all mad about? Like, everybody, if you're talking about overall impact, yes, Ice Cube has the better resume. He lived longer. So yes, he's going to get that. I wouldn't be mad if people pick Ice Cube over Biggie. But I'm not mad if people say, listen, my favorite, I'm picking Biggie over Ice Cube. But if somebody say, is Biggie a better lyricist than Ice Cube? Hell no. They're about there. They're about there equally. I think Biggie is a little bit more slicker, but Ice Cube is one of the most illest fucking lyricists ever. He wrote all Ice Cube, I mean all Easy E shit in NWA. He wrote all that shit. He wrote a lot of Dre, all that shit. He wrote a lot of this shit. Like, people gotta realize that shit. Like Cube is a legend. Like if you want to say who's the bigger star, shit, yes, it's Cube, man. It's not. That's not even arguable. That's why when people be trying to have this argument and be like, who's a bigger, who's better rapper, Tupac or Biggie? Lyrically, yeah, motherfuckers would say Biggie. Technically, he's technically better. But you try to say that Pac was never lyrical is bullshit. But like I said, I always tell people on Real Talk, I like to hear like my favorite rapper I can listen to like that and I fucks with really truly like that. And he's underrated in the game. And even from New York, he's underrated. That's Fabulous. I'd rather listen to Fabulous than listen to a lot of New York niggas. And he's technical, he's slick, and I like his shit. If I want to listen to some real technical lyrical shit, I pick Fab. Fab gonna give me that slick shit, but it's gonna be like, ooh, he said that, and then he gonna give me some club bangers. I fucks with Fab. Fab is so underrated. You know what I mean? But when you talking about impact, nobody in the history of hip hop had the biggest impact than Tupac had. It just is what it is. I don't give a fuck what generation it is. They just don't have that impact. Like nigga, like Drake has an impact, but it's not Pac's. The nigga he cry all the time on the songs. He loves songs. He make good hits, great hits. It's cool. He has an impact. I know the young people love Drake. You know what I mean? Listen. I like Drake, but it ain't Pac. I love Wayne. Wayne had one of the biggest impacts since Pac. To me, I believe I'll put Wayne. If you want to talk about best rappers overall, everything you put everything in there. Wayne is number two. It ain't a rapper. It ain't a rapper had a big impact than Wayne other than Pac. It's just is what it is. You can people can get mad at that. You can talk about, oh, I don't like Wayne, his lyrics. I mean, his style and fuck the guy. Listen, nobody had a bigger impact than this dude since Pac. And I'm dead serious about that. I don't give a fuck who it is. It ain't nobody. Nobody has had a bigger impact than Lil Wayne since Pac. Nobody. You can name them. I don't give a fuck. They do not have a bigger impact. This nigga did. If you really want to be, ever since Pac left, like when Pac died, because Pac was real huge in the mixtapes. Other than 50 Cent, G Unit, and them, they killed the motherfucking mixtape game. But Wayne killed that bitch too. It was nobody as better than him, maybe than 50 and G Unit and them. He killed that shit. This nigga just did singles. He just jumped on people's songs, did features and shit, and how big he was. He was off of that. He didn't even have to drop a whole bunch of albums in that 10 years like that. He was just the fucking hottest rapper. Nobody did that since Pac. Nobody. Nobody. I don't give a fuck who you talking about. Lil Wayne, if like I said, if you ranking motherfuckers, I'm putting Wayne there. I'm putting Pac number one. I'm putting Wayne two. And if number three, and if you really want to be on it, ain't nobody fucking with that white boy like that. Eminem goes there. Regardless of what you think and what you heard and how you feel, him using the N-word and all that other shit, I get that part. The man apologized for it, but you know it is what it is. People still gonna have some feelings about that. I get it. I'm not taking away, but you talking about impact, him rapping, his shit, ain't nobody bigger than Eminem. Lyrically, it ain't a rapper alive or did that can really fuck with that kid. Fuck with that dude lyrically. Honestly. But I always tell people about Eminem. Eminem is an assassin rapper. He gonna make all this popular music. You leave him alone, he fine. Let him be him. He gonna make all that shit. He gonna do all that music. But you go start fucking with that white boy. That white boy assassinate your ass. And that's just is what it is. And that's the truth. And overall, with his whole career, is big. I don't think it's a rapper that ever outsold Eminem yet. So he holds that title by himself. And I'm talking about album sales. Nobody has done that yet. So he holds that title. So I'm putting him third. Number four, I'm putting the Triple OG LL Cool J. It ain't a motherfucker in the rap game. Period. I don't care if fuck dead or alive. It ain't there. One of them have a resume like LL. None of them. Then I go for Pac. That go for anybody. Nobody has his resume from from down there 3 generations. Down there 3 generations, ain't nobody had an impact like L. Not one. You can't name one. You can't name one. L been popping since the 80s, nigga. Early 80s. He been popping since the early 80s. He was in the mix in the 2000s. I mean, he was in the mix in in the 90s. And once Pac died, believe it or not, LL stayed consistent. LL stayed what he did. He was probably the only rapper that stayed consistent of doing what he been doing since the 80s. And ain't no rapper has been more consistent as him. Until he finally in like around 2000 or some shit like that, early 2000s, where he kind of like stopped making music really like that, and then he started going to the acting shit. And then you think about his acting shit. His show just wrapped up. I think he did like 10 years, 9, 10 years on a fucking television show, making television money. You know what I mean? Been in movies, been in some of the most iconic movies and shit like that. Like, you know what I mean? Hood and popular movies. Like, come on. We're not playing those games when it come to L. That whole notion, oh, he talk all about the ladies. So what? Has anybody been more consistent as him doing that? No. It ain't nobody has been doing that. You know what? A lot of rappers had to, if they was consistent, they wasn't as good and great as LL being consistent of what he did of rapping to the ladies. I tell you that, nigga been a sex symbol. L is probably, if you talk about the biggest sex symbols in male sex symbols in fucking hip hop, or just not even out of pop, out of hip hop, he's a sex symbol. Listen, you got L, then you may throw Pac there, and then you whoever else after that. Other than that, L is that guy. That's the double OG. Ain't nobody. I don't even. I always tell people I don't even get to debating niggas about LL. There ain't nothing to debate. That ain't nothing to debate. He's going, like, if you ain't got LL in your top five, then something wrong with you. That's all I'm saying. Something wrong with you. He one of the pioneers and shit. It's like, and you talk about. It's like talking about, like, when you talk about L, it's like talking about Run DMC. Fuck is you gonna get like Run DMC got to be in your top five. Like, I don't understand that. Like, they the pioneers of that shit. They was the first that made hip hop cross over. Like, nigga, everybody loved Run DMC. Ain't nobody in your mama can say. It's like you can't say nothing bad about fucking Run DMC. And it's like LL. You can't say nothing bad about L. Like, come on, bro. Like, that's one of those. They all Run DMC and LL is one of those. The group and L. It's one of them people you can't say nothing bad about. He's respected. And like I said, I always tell people, yeah, loyalty is cool, but I'd rather be respected. You respect L. It ain't no disrespect there. You ain't gonna disrespect L. You gonna think twice about disrespecting L. You gonna think twice about disrespecting Run DMC. Stop that shit. So LL is right there, number 4. He's automatic there. And like I said, if you really want to be real, like I keep telling people, be real like that. It's a toss up between that 5th spot with me, because you got to start thinking like longevity, consistently iconic in a way of that spot. Jay and Snoop is like those two guys where you got to be like, it's a toss up. As well respected as Jay-Z is to the hip hop culture and the impact that he has, so is Snoop. Snoop is right there. Snoop ain't that, like, Oh, Snoop ain't on that level. Yes, and Snoop. Let me just listen. Niggas be on that bullshit, man. Snoop raps, son. I'm telling you, he raps like that. He gets busy. So motherfuckers got to be real. You got to be real about that. People always like. See, this is what happened with people. Biases come in. They don't be real honest about these shits. Cause you're gonna be biased, but you can't be too biased the way you don't see this shit. Like Snoop and Jay is like right there with each other, bro. They respect it like that. I mean, they big like that. They've been consistent since Pop, and believe it or not, Snoop actually been more consistent and been in the game longer than actually Jay was. Jay just had a spurt where he was really hot like that for a long time, but Snoop been consistent. He been around a long fucking time, bro, and been doing music. It's not like he has not did music. It's not like he didn't cross over, do movies. And actually, Jay has never really did a movie other than Paid Full or some shit. I mean, not Paid Full, but State Property or some shit. But you know, he really played. He didn't really play that big of a. He didn't act really that much in it. He had a cameo or two. But Snoop been in movies and TV shows, and this is how big you know Snoop is. Snoop got shows with motherfucking, what's her name? God damn it! I think she is a very sexy, older woman, but she is still good looking. Um, um, fuck is her name? Oh man, going blank. Um, hopefully it'll come to me. But he got a cooking show with her, Martha Stewart. That's her name, Martha Stewart. He got a fucking cooking show. You mean you start doing shit with Martha Stewart, nigga? You know you big like that. Come on, man. So it's always a toss up for me in that fifth and sixth spot with Snoop and and Jay. It's always a toss up. You couldn't go wrong if you picked Snoop over Jay, and you couldn't go wrong if you picked Jay over Snoop. It wouldn't be that big of a thing for me with that. Um, and I would say seven. I would had to have Busta Rhymes there. I think Busta is mad underrated. Busta been back since the '80s, late '80s. Motherfuckers forget about he was in a group with um fuck. Why am I going blank? Tribe Called Quest. Like Busta been around a long time and he been consistent and he got his resume is ill. So I don't understand why motherfuckers be why Busta's so overrated and not in people top 10. I don't understand that shit. And he's lyrically ill. He will rap circles around a lot of rappers and he can hang with any rapper, dead or alive. I don't give a fuck who it is. He's like I always tell everybody he's out black Eminem. Real talk. Excuse me. So I got Busta at seven. And overall impact, everything, the record sales might not be as great, but you know, him being consistent, been in the game for a long time, and just been going in every era. Listen, that's unbelievable to have that. People, a lot of rappers are dead. A lot of rappers ain't never been very consistent of being in every era of rapping, of hip hop. They just haven't. Like Busta been in every era, except for the pioneer shit. You know what I mean? And a lot of us wasn't there, so that's why I always tell that they was the blueprint of this shit. So they on another level. They on some other old shit. That's why like them, like the Sugar Hill Gangs and Melly Mel, all those guys. I don't try to compare them with anything after them because they was the blueprint. You know what I mean? They the godfathers of this shit. So like, you know what I'm saying? They the creators. So I don't put motherfuckers with them. Even when it comes to Curtis Blows and all them, I don't be putting them with those guys, man. Maybe not Curtis Blow, but everybody else I don't put them with that. Um, so yeah, I got Bust at seven. At number eight, um, number eight, That's hard for me, man. Cause I like, I see. I look at consistent people being consistent and overall better. Um, Record sales. I think, and this listen. This is why I don't even think Cube is like. Matter of fact, I don't even got. I will put Cube at number 8. I'll put Biggie at 9. But at number 10, that's where it get tricky for me because I think number 10 is almost like you could put anybody there for me. I think I always keep telling everybody. I always think Ti is very underrated of him being consistent and his run that he had, especially when Wayne was popping like that, and hip hop was real good in like that that early stage, and kind of like maybe 2012, from 2000 to 2012, like that was like that decade right there was like some of the best fucking hip hop to me since the 90s. You know what I'm saying? But the 90s had the better, the flavor was better. Like it created that early 2000 2012 shit right there. So um yeah. So I figure you can kind of put anybody. I'll like for me, I always be biased at the number 10 slot. But I'll put Ti there because I fuck with Ti and I think he's underrated. I don't think he get the respect that he deserve. Um, but I'm going blank on a lot of other dudes because I think that they probably should be there. um, but yeah, man, people gotta realize that. Hold on. Shout out to my brother LT in the building. He said something about Gilly the Kid. Son, yeah, man. Yeah, that shit crazy right there. I don't even got all the details yet of what happened. I know he got shot in the back. Um, I don't know why he was at the neighborhood. We don't know why he was there. None of the details is coming out yet. So we kind of really don't know what really happened. I heard little shit. You know what I mean? Philly ain't that far from Bmore. So I got some people that live up there in Bmore in Delaware, and they was you know shit that they hearing is that he didn't really have anything to do with the situation. It seemed like he just was like almost like an innocent bystander. He got caught up in some shit because of other people. So that's the word on the street. But I don't know what the full details yet. I'm still searching to get more details to figure out what the fuck really happened. And we fucking around really truly don't know till later what the really fuck happened. But we'll probably know a little bit more hopefully by the end of this weekend. About what happened to Gilly's son, man. R.I.P. to Gilly's son, man. I think his name was Mac and Cheese or some shit like that. They called him Lil Mac. Um, up and coming rapper. You know what I'm saying? The crazy shit about I didn't even know Gilly's son was even rapping. Believe it or not, I thought Gilly's son was in the boxing and shit. I thought he was trying to be a boxer, and I could be getting them confused with the look because Gilly got another son, so that could have been his little brother that I was thinking about. Um, but but yeah, man. R.I.P. to Lil Mac, man. My condolences go out to and love and prayers go out to Gilly and his family, man. I listen, man. I keep telling people, man. You know, people don't be understanding this a lot of the times when these young folks be dying, especially getting killed and shit. What that shit does to a parent, man. Gilly ain't gonna never be the same. I keep telling people that you don't bet it be the same. I know plenty of dudes that lost their kids, you know what I'm saying, from birth effects and just tragic little accidents, getting hit by cars and shit when their kids was very young and shit like that. Teenagers, dudes I know, and them niggas ain't been the same. They don't be the same. You know what I'm saying? You know, a part of you is broken. A part of you can't, like, that's a part of your brain and heart that don't ever function again. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, it's your kid, man. Um, Now Gilly is in a part of that club. You know, of losing a kid, your kid dying before you die. You know what I mean? That's not how really life's supposed to go. But you know, you know, when you think about life, that's why I tell people cherish your life, give people their roses, live your life the best you can. But at the same time, continue to try to be a good influence and help people the best way you can. You know what I mean? The little things of helping somebody out, you know, it's good for your spirit and it's good for the atmosphere of the world or of society, if you want to say. But people gotta be, you know, people gotta realize that shit, man. My heart broke when I heard about that shit with Gilly's son, man. Gilly, good dude, man. You know what I mean? So, you know, you're always trying to, you know, be positive, spit knowledge, be a part of the culture as much as he can. Even with the youth, he try to be relevant. You know what I mean? To the point that where like he still want to have an impact with the culture and help the young people out. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean. But like I said, when people don't know they due date, you know what I'm saying, and it was probably his due date. Maybe it's harsh the way he went out, but it was his due date. Everybody got a due date, man. Some shit seemed tragic and some shit seemed accidental. You know what I mean? But sometimes if you believe in a higher power and you believe in you believe in the spirit and you believe in God, listen, all this religion shit, I don't believe in it. So when I talk about a higher power, I'm talking about the God, like God creator, somebody you believe that's somebody here, the spirit of that. But yeah, but that's why like everybody got a due date, man. That's why you're supposed to cherish people. That's why you're supposed to care about people. That's why you're supposed to love them. You know what I mean? You never know when they're gonna be gone. You know what I'm saying? But like I always tell people, you be consistent. If you don't fuck with people, my bad. Yeah, well, that's what I say. If you don't fuck with people, you don't fuck with them. You know what I mean? And if people don't fuck with you, they don't fuck with you. That's just life. But the people that you do care about, you show the love to them. You give them love. You know what I mean? Don't wait till they dead and gone, and then motherfuckers be like, boohoo and crying and shit. Like, I mean, you gonna cry, but don't be overdoing it because you should have been gave motherfuckers they flowers. Should have been trying to help people. You should have been trying to show them how much love you got for them. You know what I mean? So, like I always tell people, like, yeah, it's gonna hurt when you lose somebody close to you, but if you showed that person and you appreciated that person and gave them their flowers, that loved them the best way you could, and you was consistent doing that, you know what I mean? The pain won't ever go away, but it won't be like it shouldn't hurt as much, after a while. You know what I mean? It shouldn't last so long of the pain being so hurtful of losing somebody. You know what I mean? Because you gave love, you show love to them. You know what I mean? Like I always tell people that. Like when I think about people that I was close to that passed away, yeah, it's sad. I get sad. But I always tell people when I know I show love and it is what it is. I always tell people I usually only cry about people if I'm talking about somebody if that I wasn't there when it's like you regret certain things. That's when you cry when you talk about that person or like um
Daddy,
yes.
your watermelon's here.
Okay, all right, I'm coming.
Okay.
I know I gotta get these damn groceries, y'all. I told y'all I don't go to goddamn market, boy. I deliver them. I should get delivered here. But yeah. But let me finish this up. So I can get this damn what's the name? Um, what's the name? I'm surprised my dog ain't bark, because usually he be barking and shit. I ain't even hear him bark. But anyway, when somebody come near the porch, he can. It's like this nigga can smell a motherfucker coming to the porch. But anyway, um, yeah. I said, like I said, I only cry when I feel like, damn, I should have did this and I couldn't be there for that person, or if like I regret that I didn't show that love to them, right? Or somebody that's so close to me, I just miss them so much. Like, somebody be so close to you, you just miss them, and you just like everything reminds you of them. You can't talk about them. But like I said, usually a lot of people that passed away for me, I a lot of people I know that they died tragically. So um it just hurt because they just not here. Like I cried thinking about some of them because they not here to see me in a in this different light that I'm in. You know what I'm saying? When they did see me before they passed or whatever, they wasn't a part of where I'm at in my life, and that's what kind of make me sad. But other than that, I don't really like when I think about them. I don't really get like I'm not as hurt as I used to be about losing them. You know what I mean? But just tell people you care about them, man. You know what I mean? Show them the fucking love that you need to show them. I know people get on your nerves all the time, but I guarantee you, uh, when they don't get on your when they ain't here for you to get it on your nerves, you're gonna be regretting that they ain't here no more. You know what I'm saying? So shout out my condolences go out the Gilly and his family. Know they going I know that they going through it. Pain is like raw. Worst shit to ever hear your kid getting murdered or killed or dying before you know so much shit you want to do with your kid. You get what I mean? So the pain is crazy. But R.I.P. to Lil Mac, man. Damn. And like I said, I'll talk more about that guy. I got to get more details about that situation. But hopefully, I'll go live today. If I don't, people, because like I said, I'm still like kind of working on shit. So if I don't go live in the next couple of hours, I'll be going live tomorrow. Because I want to finish up a lot of this shit I'm doing. Plus, my wife got me here doing some bullshit. But anyway, leave your comments, hit that like button, support your boy. It's your boy, Mr. OBF. Peace and love to the world.